The concept of worship in Islam. The Arabic term for worship in Islam, Ibadah, carries a meaning far broader than the English word worship might suggest. In Islamic theology, Ibadah encompasses any action performed with the consciousness of God and in accordance with divine guidance. The Quran states, "I did not create jinn and humans except to worship me," Surah 51 Ayah 56, establishing worship as humanity's core purpose. This holistic concept extends beyond ritual practices to include all aspects of a Muslim's life when conducted with the right intention, niyyah, and in accordance with divine guidance. From this perspective, worship represents a comprehensive way of living rather than isolated acts of devotion. The 5 pillars as a framework. The 5 pillars of Islam provide the foundational framework for Islamic worship. 1. Shahada, declaration of faith. 2. Salah, ritual prayer. 3. Zakat, obligatory charity. 4. Sawm, fasting during Ramadan. 5. Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca. These pillars represent a balanced approach addressing spiritual, physical, financial, and communal dimensions of life. They structure a Muslim's relationship with God while simultaneously fostering self-discipline and community cohesion. Beyond ritual, intention and consciousness. A profound hadith, saying of Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, states, actions are judged by intentions, Sahih al-Bukhari. This principle elevates worship beyond mechanical performance to a state of conscious engagement. The Arabic concept of khushu refers to this mindful presence during worship, a focused awareness of being in God's presence. From a cognitive science perspective, this mindfulness during worship activates brain regions associated with attention, emotional regulation, and meaning-making. Neurological studies on meditation and prayer show similar patterns of brain activity that promote well-being and psychological integration. Everyday actions as worship. Islamic theology uniquely positions mundane activities as potential acts of worship. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, taught, smiling at your brother is charity. Removing harmful things from the road is charity, Tirmidhi. This perspective transforms ordinary life into sacred experience. Scholar Ibn al-Qayyim categorized worship into worship of the heart, tongue, and limbs, suggesting that worship encompasses internal states, speech, and physical actions. This tripartite division creates a framework where consciousness, expression, and action all constitute worship when aligned with divine guidance. Ethical dimensions of worship. The Quranic critique of superficial worship is striking. It is not righteousness that you turn your faces toward the east or the west, but righteousness is in one who believes in Allah. Surah 2 Ayah 177, continuing to list ethical behaviors that constitute true faith. This ethical dimension is further emphasized in numerous hadiths where the Prophet, peace be on him, connects worship with moral conduct. For instance, none of you truly believes until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself, Bukhari and Muslim. This establishes empathy and ethical behavior as essential components of faith. Knowledge and contemplation as worship. Islam places extraordinary value on knowledge-seeking as worship. The Prophet, peace be on him, stated, seeking knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim, Ibn Majah. The first word revealed in the Quran was iqra, read/recite, establishing a fundamental connection between worship and intellectual engagement. The Quran repeatedly calls for contemplation of natural phenomena. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of night and day are signs for people of understanding. Surah 3 Ayah 190. This contemplative dimension aligns with philosophical traditions that view rational reflection as a pathway to ultimate truth. Work and professional excellence. The Islamic concept of itqan, excellence/perfection in work, transforms professional endeavors into worship. The Prophet, peace be on him, taught, Allah loves when one of you performs a task, they perfect it, Tabarani. This elevates professional excellence from merely economic activity to spiritual practice. This integration of work and worship challenges the modern dichotomy between sacred and secular spheres. It presents a unity of life where economic activities, when conducted ethically and with awareness of divine presence, become forms of devotion. Social justice as worship. The Quran repeatedly connects worship with social justice. Have you seen the one who denies the judgment? That is the one who repels the orphan and does not encourage feeding the poor. Surah 107 Ayah 1-3. This establishes addressing social inequities as essential to authentic worship. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, emphasized this connection. He is not a believer who eats his fill while his neighbor beside him is hungry. Bukhari. This social dimension of worship has inspired Islamic traditions of charitable foundations, Aqaf, community service, and advocacy for marginalized populations. Environmental stewardship. Islamic theology positions humans as Khalifa, stewards/vicegerents, on earth. The Quran states, "It is He who has appointed you vicegerents on earth," Surah 6 Ayah 165, establishing environmental care as a form of worship. The Prophet, peace be on him, introduced revolutionary environmental ethics. If the hour, the day of resurrection, is about to be established and one of you has a palm shoot in his hand, let him plant it. Ahmad. This establishes environmental stewardship as worship even in apocalyptic circumstances, suggesting the intrinsic value of such actions regardless of utilitarian outcomes. Family life as sacred space. Family relationships in Islam constitute a primary domain of worship. The Quran elevates kind treatment of parents nearly to the level of monotheism. Your Lord has decreed that you worship none but Him, and that you be kind to parents. Surah 17 Ayah 23. The Prophet, peace be on him, taught, "The best of you are those who are best to their families." Tirmidhi, establishing family kindness as a measure of spiritual development. This sanctification of family life transforms domestic spaces into arenas of spiritual practice where patience, forgiveness, and love become forms of devotion. Body as trust, physical well-being. The Islamic tradition views the human body as an amana, trust, from God that must be properly maintained. The Prophet, peace be on him, stated, "Your body has a right over you." Bukhari, establishing physical self-care as religious obligation. Islamic scholars have developed the concept of fiqh al-siha, jurisprudence of health, elaborating guidelines for nutrition, hygiene, rest, and exercise as religious duties. This establishes physical well-being as worship, challenging mind-body dualism by integrating physical health into spiritual practice. Psychological dimensions, inner peace. The Quran frequently connects worship with psychological well-being. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. 13:28. This establishes mental and emotional health as both means and outcomes of authentic worship. Islamic spiritual traditions include extensive practices for managing negative emotions. For instance, the Prophet, peace be on him, taught, "The strong person is not the one who overcomes people with his strength, but the one who controls himself while in anger." Bukhari. This positions emotional regulation as spiritual achievement rather than merely psychological skill. Community building as worship. The concept of ummah, community, is central to Islamic worship. The Quran states, "You are the best community brought forth for mankind, enjoining what is right and forbidding what is wrong." Surah 3 Ayah 110. This establishes community development as collective worship. Congregational prayer exemplifies this communal dimension. The Prophet taught that prayer in congregation carries 27 times more reward than individual prayer, incentivizing regular community gathering and collaboration across social boundaries. Integration and balance. The Islamic concept of worship ultimately presents a comprehensive system integrating spiritual, intellectual, physical, emotional, social, economic, and environmental dimensions of human experience. This holistic approach challenges fragmented modern existence by presenting a unified paradigm where all actions, when properly intentioned and guided, constitute worship. The Prophet Muhammad's, peace be on him, final sermon emphasized, "I leave behind me two things, the Quran and my Sunnah." This dual inheritance provides both principles and practical examples for implementing holistic worship across changing historical and cultural contexts. The enduring relevance of this comprehensive worship paradigm lies in its capacity to integrate seemingly disparate aspects of human experience into a coherent whole, offering meaning and purpose to all dimensions of life. And there you have it. We hope you found this information helpful and thought-provoking. Our goal is always to provide you with content that both informs and engages. If you enjoyed this video and found value in it, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to hit that like button. Your positive feedback helps our content reach more viewers who might benefit from it. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to stay updated on our latest uploads. We release new videos regularly and would love to have you join us on this journey of discovery and learning. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care and stay curious.